It started with a peanut butter sandwich and a juice box given by a 7-year-old girl to a man everyone else walked past, but by the next morning she wasn't just a little girl anymore, she was a symbol. And when 300 soldiers stood in silence saluting her on the school lawn, her teacher dropped her coffee. The principal couldn't speak, and her mother, she just cried. The day before everything changed, it was raining, not heavy, not stormy, just that cold kind of drizzle that soaks your socks and makes you wish you'd stayed home. But Emma didn't stay home. She was 7. She wore a red hoodie with a rabbit on the sleeve and carried a lunchbox that had her name written in big glittery letters, EMMA, purple sparkle marker proudly drawn by her mom. She held her lunch with both hands like it was treasure. A peanut butter sandwich, a juice box, one of those chocolate chip cookies that comes in a clear plastic bag, and a little note inside from her mom, be kind, you're magic, with a smiley face at the end. She always read it twice. Her mom kissed her forehead before the bus came. Emma smiled like she always did, but today she saw something she hadn't seen before. At the end of the street near the bus stop bench sat a man, not moving, not holding a sign, just sitting there, soaked, head down, arms around himself like he was trying to disappear. People passed. They looked away. One woman even whispered, "Why don't they clean this neighborhood up?" Emma heard her. She didn't understand it, but she heard the bus pulled up. Emma didn't get on. She clutched her lunchbox tighter and walked toward the man. His coat was torn, his beard was gray and wild, his shoes didn't match, one brown, one black, both wet. She stopped in front of him. He didn't look up. Emma opened her lunchbox. She took out the sandwich still wrapped in foil, then the juice box, then the cookie. She held them out with both hands still. He didn't look, so she whispered quietly like a secret, "I think you need this more than I do." That made him look up. His eyes, they were blue, not just blue, the kind of blue that looks like it used to be bright once before. Something broke. He stared at her, then at the food, then he started to cry, not loudly, just the kind of crying where your shoulders shake and you try to hide it behind your hands. Emma didn't run. She didn't move. She just sat next to him in the rain, holding his hand, and for a moment the world got quiet. The bus driver watched from his seat. He was about to close the door, but then he saw what Emma did, and he didn't close the door. He got out. He walked over, kneeled down, put a hand on the man's shoulder. "You a vet?" he asked softly. The man nodded, didn't speak, just nodded. The driver looked at Emma, and something in his face changed, like he remembered something. He stood up, "Get," and he said to the man, "To both of you." And that's how Emma rode to school that day, with a homeless veteran holding his hand still. In the rain, Emma walked into school, still holding the man's hand. The hallway lights flickered overhead. The walls smelled like crayons and cleaning spray. Kids were still peeling off coats, laughing, running to their cubbies. Nobody saw them at first. Then the doors closed behind them, and heads started turning. First one kid, then another, then a whisper, "Who's that guy? Why's he with her?" Is that her grandpa? The veteran didn't say a word. His eyes stayed low, his shoulders curved in like he was trying to disappear again. But Emma didn't let go. She tugged his hand. "Come on, you can sit with me." The cafeteria wasn't loud, yet it was still early. Emma sat at her usual spot, third table from the milk cooler, under the big poster that said "Kindness is a Superpower." She took out her empty lunchbox, the one she had given away. She didn't seem to mind. She pulled out a napkin and wrote on it with a crayon she'd borrowed from her jacket, "Thank you for being brave." She slid it across to the man. He looked at it like he didn't know what to do with it. His hands were shaking. Then someone took a picture. It wasn't a teacher, it was a janitor, a quiet man named Jorg. Had done 2 tours in Iraq. He knew exactly what that look in the veteran's eyes meant. Horhad didn't post the photo. He printed it and pinned it to the staff bulletin board. Later that day, the principal saw it, then the school counselor, then a substitute teacher whose brother was stationed in Germany that night. The photo made it online. It wasn't tagged, it wasn't captioned, it was just titled "A Girl and a Ghost of War," but the comments lit up. "Who is she? Someone find this child." I'm not crying. "You area retired sergeant from Fort Bragg shared it, then a military spouse from Alabama, then the official Army account reposted it with the words, "If you ever wondered what honor looks like, this is it." By morning it had 4 million views. Emma didn't know she was still asleep in her red hoodie, curled up in bed. Her mom was in the kitchen scrolling through her phone, frozen. The screen was glowing. The image of her daughter holding a napkin with a crayon message, and a man with tired eyes was everywhere. The school hadn't even opened yet when the first car pulled up. another, then buses, then a convoy. Emma had no idea what was coming the next morning. Emma wore the same red hoodie. She didn't think twice about it. It was clean, it was warm, and the rabbit on the sleeve made her smile. Her mom held her hand at the bus stop, but today the bus never came. Instead, a black SUV pulled up, then another and another. Emma stepped back, her mom's eyes narrowed, then widened. Out of the first vehicle stepped a man in full uniform, decorated medals shining in the early light. He looked like he hadn't blinked in 20 years. He saluted Emma's mom, then bent down on one knee. Emma right. Emma nodded slowly. "And Colonel Davis, United States Army. May I walk you to school today?" She looked up at her mom. Her mom couldn't speak. She just nodded, tears already forming. Emma reached out, took the colonel's hand, and the two of them walked just a few blocks, but the world followed. People came out of their houses filming, clapping, confused. Some cried without even knowing why, because ahead at the school gates they were waiting. They lined the front lawn, 300 of them, full dress uniform, boots, polished toes, perfect men, women, young, old, some with canes, some missing legs. Every branch was there: Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, Coast Guard, even retired firefighters and police officers stood behind them in silence. The principal stood on the steps, pale hands shaking. The school counselor wept. Teachers came out with clipboards, then froze, and in the center of the lawn beneath the flagpole stood the same man Emma had fed 2 days ago, but now he was clean-shaved, hair trimmed, wearing his old army uniform, the name patch freshly stitched. Collins. His back was straight, his eyes were clear, and when he saw her he smiled, the kind of smile that made every wrinkle soften, the kind that looked like it hadn't been used in years. Emma stepped forward. The colonel gave her space, and then one by one 300 soldiers raised their hands to their brows, the entire lawn saluting, not the flag, not the colonel, her, the 7-year-old girl who gave her lunch to a man everyone else ignored, the girl who didn't ask for attention or praise or headlines, the girl who just did what the note in her lunchbox told her to do. Be kind, your magic. Later that afternoon, the news trucks came. Reporters tried to ask her questions, but Emma just held her mom's hand and kept quiet. She didn't understand the camera. She didn't care about the clicks. She just looked for Mr. Collins, but he wasn't there anymore. They said he left right after the salute. Didn't he tell anyone where he was going? Just said he needed to do something important. He left a letter with the principal. It was written on lined notebook paper in shaky handwriting, but every word was steady to the school. "I was a soldier. I fought. I broke. I got lost. And then a little girl gave me a peanut butter sandwich and reminded me I was still human. Tell her, thank you. Tell her she saved more than just my life." Robert Collins, SGT, First Class, U.S. Army, retired. They framed the letter. It now hangs in the front office right next to the American flag, and every year on the anniversary of that day, school hosts Red Hoodie Day kids are encouraged to bring an extra snack and find someone who needs it more, because real kindness doesn't go viral because of cameras, it goes viral because of hearts. It's been 2 years. Emma's taller now, still wears red hoodie, still keeps her lunch in a glittery box, still writes notes to herself in purple sparkle marker, but now she writes them for others too, because she learned something no textbook could ever teach, that a peanut butter sandwich and a juice box in one quiet act of courage can ripple through the world louder than any microphone. Some say she didn't know what she was doing that day, that she was just a kid just being kind, but that's exactly it. She was just being kind when no one else would, when no one else even looked. And because of that day, soldiers stood up again. A crowd remembered their promise, and 300 salutes found their way back to a little girl with sparkles on her lunchbox. So if you ever wonder whether something small matters, if one moment can still mean something in a world so loud, remember her, the rain, the sandwich, the little hand holding his in the silence of 300 soldiers saluting. One child didn't look away. Be kind, your magic note in a lunchbox that changed the world.